Yo, what is up? It's your boy Philly. You already know what the deal is. Back at it again with some more football content. Before I get in with the video, you already know what to do. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Tap the bell icon. We are really close to 800 subscribers. We are hoping we can get there, at least by the end of September. And we're getting pretty close to it. As of right now, we're at 729 subscribers. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon for future football content. But anyways, let's go and get into today's video. So week one of the football season is officially upon us. And the New York Giants take on the Dallas Cowboys. Week one, Sunday Night Football. The Giants are already getting a test right off the bat, going against one of the best teams in the league, in my opinion, defensively and offensively. So the Giants are getting a really monumental test to start off the season, especially Daniel Jones and this somewhat new New York Giants offense that got a few quick upgrades. Let's go ahead and discuss this Cowboys team now. One of the main things I obviously worry about the most going into this game is the DB matchups, because for the most part, when you look at these matchups, obviously Trevon Diggs and Stephon Gilmore going against our receivers, it looks like a matchup on paper where our DBs, could easily dominate our wide receivers pretty easily, because you got wide receivers for the Giants who are probably, wide receiver 2s and wide receiver 3s, maybe on other teams. They're not necessarily going to be wide receiver 1, specifically a guy like Darius Slayton or Isaiah Hodgins. I don't know who exactly is going to be the number 1 wide out yet, but we'll probably find out, obviously Sunday, who exactly that guy is going to be. But when you look at our matchups, it looks pretty dominant on paper. And if you watch any of the Eagles games last year, we dealt with that same situation where Darius Slay and James Bradbury practically had, their way with our receivers. So I feel like we're going into a situation with the Cowboys and their DBs where that could personally happen again. Stephon Gilmore still being a top 10 corner despite being older in age. And obviously you got Trevon Diggs, obviously a top 10 corner in his own right, and he's got a massive bag extension this season. So yeah, it's going to be a tough matchup for our receivers. So the Giants are obviously going to have to find weaknesses and exploit those weaknesses in this game. Now, as far as their secondary overall, I don't know if Donovan Wilson is playing, but if he is not playing, that is going to be a tiny blow to the Cowboys secondary. I know he's one of their best safeties on their roster right now, but I do think they have a capable backup safety on their roster if he does play. But like I said, if he's not playing, that is going to be a slight blow to the Cowboys, and the Giants need to get on that, be able to manage to exploit that. Their defensive line gave us a lot of problems last year, and they're going to give a lot of teams problems. So, that's pretty much expected. Your defensive line has so many prior people you have to watch out for. You have that defensive tackle whose name I can't pronounce. Then you have DeMarcus Lawrence, and then you obviously have Micah Parsons. So their D-line in general is, pretty dangerous. And DeMarcus Lawrence gave Evan Neal some trouble last year. So I hope Evan Neal, got settled, and I hope he's improved, because DeMarcus Lawrence, he did the same thing to Andrew Thomas his first year, and then Andrew Thomas obviously got better, and he's managed to win most of his matchups after that with DeMarcus Lawrence. So with this one, I hope he's gotten better, because like I said, it's still a tough matchup no matter how DeMarcus Lawrence has gotten over the past couple years. And then obviously you have quite possibly one of the matchups I'm looking forward to. You have Micah Parsons versus Andrew Thomas, one of the best offensive tackles in the league versus one of the best pass rushers in the league. I'm looking forward to that. Last year it was pretty, evenly matched. I think Andrew Thomas won the first matchup, and then Micah Parsons won the second matchup. But to give the both of them the benefit there, I think Micah Parsons with dealing with the flu his first matchup, and I think with the second matchup, Andrew Thomas was also dealing with the flu. So I expect this one to be, somewhat evenly matched. I think Micah Parsons may win a couple matchups, but I think Andrew Thomas, for the most part, should be able to handle Micah Parsons, fairly well. But either way, I am looking forward to this match. The next thing I feel like I have to keep my eye on is that interior for the Giants, because for the most part, our interior is going to be, fairly the same outside of John Michael Smith. I think Ben Bredeson is going to be the left guard, and I think Mark Glowinski is going to be their right guard. Now, Mark Glowinski did struggle a lot last year. A lot. And I mean a lot. He wasn't good to any extent. Ben Bredeson was all right. Nothing too special. He was solid, I would say. And then obviously John Michael Smith is a rookie, but he showed a lot of promise, in the preseason. But now he's getting a test against this Cowboys D-line. So that is one matchup I'm going to keep my eye on to see how exactly they perform, because obviously Brian Dable has alluded in the past that, the left guard position isn't exactly a position that's, quite established yet. So we could see Joshua Zudum in at some point. We could see Ben Bredesen, be in the whole game. We don't know at this point. I think it all depends on how each of them play. Was it Sunday? So obviously, I think the Cowboys are going to be able to go far this year. It all depends on Mike McCarthy and how Dak Prescott plays in the playoffs. And we're going to see. I think they have the team to do it. It's just a matter of can they execute on it. And I'm me being unbiased as all. We're now finally going to talk about the New York Giants. Obviously, I have a lot of hope for this team this year. We've improved on pretty much every side of the ball. But one of the main things I want to see in this game, does Brian Dable let Daniel Jones take deep shots immediately in this game? Or does he, wait, not reveal too much of his playing with Daniel Jones? You would have to think with the new weapons he's brought in, he's going to have to do something new, right? Almost has to, right? That's one thing I do want to see. Does he finally take those shots with Daniel Jones week 1? I don't see it personally happen immediately, but I do think there's a chance we could. With Jalen Hyatt, does he finally take those deep shots now? Or does he wait? Do we see the connection with Darren Waller immediately in this game? There's a lot of things I want to see in this offense. The offensive line, I want to see improvement for Evan Neal. I want to see him get tested against Cowboys D-line. He's going to get tested against DeMarcus Lawrence. So, like I said right off the bat, he's getting a huge test immediately with this Cowboys D-line. And we're going to finally see if anything that Evan Neal did this offseason helped him improve in any way whatsoever. He was okay in the preseason game against the Panthers, but now you have to see if that paid off for him to play in the regular season now. I also want to see how this offense, is working now. Obviously, I want to see how differently Saquon is going to be incorporated now that the Giants have brought in so many offensive weapons on the receiving core. I want to see if they still, go the same method where Saquon is heavily involved compared to, airing it out more with the ball, passing it. I want to see if they decide to do that or they decide to pass it more. Those are a few things I'm going to see if they do in this game or if they start off with. Like I said, there could be a chance where we see down the road where they take it slow. And then as the season goes on, they start to air it out more. And you start to see a little bit more of this offense start to open up a little bit. So there's a chance we could see it week 1, but who knows at this point. The Giants D-line is something I want to take note of because last year they did not get a lot of pressure on Dak Prescott versus this offensive line for the Cowboys. They were almost non-existent. They got some pressures on him, Kayvon Thibodeau specifically, but other than that, this D-line was almost non-existent going against the Cowboys. However, some developments going into this game. Tyler Smith has not been practicing the past couple of days. I still think he's dealing with a hamstring injury or something like that. Right now, it's pretty unclear or unknown if he's going to play yet. Tyron Smith, the right tackle, I think the left tackle or right tackle, has also been dealing with an injury. So even if he's dealing with an injury going into this game, that's still going to be a huge effect for this Giants D-line, which means, Kayvon Thibodeau, Azeez Ojulari should have no problem whatsoever getting pressure on Dak Prescott because the Cowboys' depth is not as good as it used to be. They lost a lot of guys. So, it's not the same Cowboys O-line used to be when they had a lot of good depth. And if Tyler Smith is not playing, that means guys like Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams and Anshawn Robinson, if he does play, are going to be able to get low amount of pressure on this interior of the Cowboys D-line, which means they're going to be able to pressure Dak Prescott and force him to make some bad throws or just force him to have to pass the ball away and get some sacks on him. So that's one other thing that I'm going to be keeping my eye on if those two guys don't play or if they even deal with an injury going into this game. Now, we also had to deal with the Cowboys running game who dominated us last year as well. And fortunately for us, they don't have Zeke Elliott no more, who almost always terrorized us when winning against them. However, they have an equally just as good running back in Tony Pollard, who also ran over us pretty, well last season. So either way, we're going to a situation where this running game for the Cowboys is going to be just as dangerous. If you even add Deuce Vaughn, who's also a good running back, he's short, but at the end of the day, he's got speed on him, which could end up backfiring us in a way. But we do have linebackers ready for him now, I would say. Guys like Bobby Okereke and Isaiah Simmons, who can somewhat match his speed in a way. Going into this game, we could also be possibly starting two rookie corners in Deontay Banks and Trey Hawkins, going up against 2 veteran wide receivers in Michael Gallup and an established young wide receiver in CeeDee Lamb. So I think there's going to be 2 matchups that are going to be tough for the 2 rookies, and they're probably going to get beat a couple times. But at the end of the day, you got to remember they're rookies. They're learning. You expect things like this to happen. The reason I'm so high on this defense, like I said, you got linebackers who can cover now, like Isaiah Simmons and Bobby Okereke. So honestly, I feel like we have a better shot at hanging with this team now. Last year, we didn't have any of those guys. We were struggling a lot because we didn't have linebackers who could cover, who can tackle consistently. And now we finally got guys who can do that. That's why I'm eager to see this defense finally play. And I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'd be lying if I said I'm more hyped to see this offense more than I am this defense. Because like I said, I'm really hyped to see this defense for some reason. Hopefully, I'm not just, being hyped for nothing and this defense ends up disappointing me. But I don't see that happening. I'm going to remain optimistic right now. But yeah, I think that's enough words until, 8:20 Sunday Eastern time comes around, depending on where you're at. So, yeah, I'm going to wrap the video up here. Like I said before, it's your boy Philly. I do football content almost every single week. If you like any of that, go and subscribe. Tap the bell icon. Follow me on all my social medias. I will leave it down below in the description. And I will hope to see you guys in the next video. And I'm out.
Mask on fucking, 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 mask got 50 likes then Randolph tryna blast off, he wasn't in the face. In my way, for a nigga better go pray. I'ma send killer where you stay. Walking down a little nigga, a minor with a micro Drake. The drop we score, nigga, no one play.